On a busy city street, Zikin walks away carrying a box of personal belongings. Observers are puzzled he's still in his prime. Yet he's suddenly stepping down from his position. Two colleagues nearby exchange hushed words. One explains that Zikin's unexpected resignation cost their Baewu Star District a rare and exceptionally gifted martial arts talent, a loss that angered their superior, Lei Zun, the chief law enforcer of the agricultural division. The other listener reacts with surprise, questioning what kind of extraordinary individual could cause such a high-ranking figure, someone at the peak of the 11th level, to give up his post. In the shadows, another quietly watches Zikin leave, unable to clearly understand the full situation, yet sensing there's more beneath the surface. Frustration surges through Zikin as he mutters curses under his breath, clearly venting his anger towards someone he deeply resents. He can't believe how deceitful that person turned out to be, acting innocent, while bearing no responsibility for the mistakes made, even though Zikin himself admits he wasn't entirely blameless. Unable to hold it in, he lashes out physically, his temper flaring for a brief moment before it fades. Observers nearby are startled, whispering about his sudden outburst and speculating whether his mood swings are due to age catching up with him. A heavy sigh escapes him, his posture slumping under the weight of both the box in his hands and the situation pressing on his mind. Finally, Zikin forces himself to look at the brighter side. He tells himself that stepping away might not be so bad. After all, he hasn't taken a proper break in ages, and with his recent purchase of a home on Huayuan Star, this could be the perfect opportunity to take his wife and child on a long overdue vacation. Thinking about his upcoming life, Zikin lets his mind wander to Huayuan Star, imagining the sweet desserts, fragrant noodle soups, and grilled lamb skewers that grow alongside fruit-laden beer trees. A smile spreads across his face as he looks forward to the peaceful days ahead. His pleasant daydream is abruptly interrupted by an urgent broadcast. The announcement cuts through the air, delivered by an angry senior official whose face is filled with rage. The message is clear and damning. Zikin, an 11th level enforcer, is accused of neglecting his duties, committing an unforgivable mistake that violated the core laws, and causing a catastrophic loss for the Baewu Star District. The crime is described as severe and beyond pardon. The punishment is announced without hesitation. His noble status is stripped for life, with a ban on his family applying for noble rank for 3 generations. He is removed from his 11th level enforcer position, and he is reassigned to guard an 8th level battlefield star town for 3,000 years. Zikin listens in shock, the weight of the sentence settling heavily upon him. The book crashes to the ground with a loud thud, drawing everyone's attention. Zikin freezes in shock, crying out in disbelief and demanding to know why this is happening. Tears stream down his face as he laments that 3,000 years of effort are gone, all because he spared just one person. Collapsing to the floor, Zikin's grief leaves onlookers stunned, questioning if things had to be this serious. Meanwhile, a fiery explosion erupts, scattering debris and heat through the air. Standing amidst the flames, Shang strikes forward with confidence, radiating power. He moves through the aftermath, thinking about the limitless supply of cultivation resources, high-level authority, top-tier weaponry, and even the latest private spacecraft now available to him. Relaxing with a drink and towel, Shang enjoys the feeling of being a favored Star District prodigy, reveling in the privilege of having an entire sector's resources at his disposal. While sipping his drink, Shang opens a holographic display, thinking that as long as his requests aren't excessive, he can basically get anything he wants. A confident smile forms as he realizes he no longer needs to worry about cultivation resources. With the current situation, he can easily buy several life planets without even noticing. He already owns an entire star system. Browsing the holographic projection, he considers picking a few good life planets and assigning one to each major province of the Dragon Kingdom. With a sly grin, Shang decides the remaining countries can simply share one planet among them. He reflects that training someone like Mir no longer requires elaborate tricks or disguises. Instead, a direct display of strength in front of her would be enough to impress her, perhaps even make her willingly acknowledge his abilities. Leaning back casually, Lu Sheng wonders how his parents might react when they learn about this new development. Just then, the sound of approaching footsteps breaks his thoughts. A woman enters the room, holding a folder. With a calm smile, she informs him that all the interstellar-class ships he requested have arrived and are ready. Lu Sheng agrees to go take a look at the massive ships capable of carrying an entire planet's population, admitting he's quite curious about them. The woman explains that the ships can't depart yet because the target location belongs to the White Mist Star region, and they're still working on a solution. Lu Sheng, intrigued, repeats the name White Mist Star region while thinking about the situation. His thoughts are interrupted by a video call from his wife, who asks if he's busy. Concerned, Lu Sheng immediately asks her what happened. His wife appears concerned, telling him that something serious seems to have happened to the Blue Star. Lu Sheng's mother is asked by a neighbor if she has finished talking to Lu Sheng and whether he mentioned when he would return, as he has already been away for several months. Lu Sheng's father chimes in, reminding her not to be impatient. He points out that their son is in space, which is vast and not as simple as taking a short trip. Lu Sheng's mother reluctantly agrees, saying she will go cook while hoping her son returns soon. Another person reassures her that Lu Sheng is doing well in space and might even become famous, so there's no need to worry. She lets her father know she's going out for a walk. He nods, giving his permission and reminding her of the instructions he already mentioned. The city's high-rises loom in the background as she walks alone. A voice calls out, addressing her as Mrs. Lu. She turns in surprise, recognizing a woman with flowing purple hair and a fitted blazer approaches, her face partly hidden behind a mask. She inquires about Lu Sheng's response. A name surfaces in the moment: Lin Zhengyu. Lin Zhengyu explains that he promised to return as soon as possible and would use other channels to help resolve their current problem. She wonders aloud what these other channels might be. Zhengyu admits she doesn't know the specifics. He didn't explain in detail, only telling them to rest assured. In the end, she says, it all comes down to their side being too weak. As residents of a lower-tier civilization, they lack the standing to resist stronger forces. She recalls how the guide named Zhang Chen seemed cooperative before, but now a sudden change has occurred, cutting off a process midway and retracting their investment. And yet, they are still being asked to pay the same exorbitant amount as before, a figure that could bankrupt anyone. Zhengyu suspects he's deliberately trying to extort them. Hearing this, she frowns, questioning whether this means Ling is not strong enough to handle the situation. Zhengyu affirms the suspicion, comparing it to trying to pluck wool from a sheep mid-shear, something nearly impossible. Even if they scraped together everything they had, they'd still be far from meeting the demand. She sighs with frustration, lamenting how the weak are so easily bullied and taken advantage of. The other woman clenches her fist, stating that if they weren't forced into this position, she would prefer not to rely on Lu Sheng at all. Still, with the situation as it is, they can only wait for his return to cut through the problem. Zhengyu, however, warns that Lu Sheng's fierce reputation might provoke the guide into retaliation, perhaps even prompting them to bring an entire starship fleet next time as a show of force. They recall Lu Sheng's extraordinary martial talents, someone destined for greatness. But with his growing influence, if their troubles cause him to clash with powerful enemies, their entire group, including the elders from the Lu family, could face dire consequences. She admits she isn't sure how to explain Lu Sheng's current situation in space. All she knows is that someone named Baining arranged for a ship to pick them up, though she doesn't understand the full scope of what's happening. Her eyes soften as she remembers his final words to her before leaving. In that memory, Lu Sheng smiles with quiet confidence, telling her that he has the ability to resolve everything and asking her to wait for his return. On to the Lu Sheng side, where he's in conversation with an elder seated on an ornate couch, accompanied by others. Lu Sheng gives a brief summary of the situation, explaining the general circumstances they're facing. He reflects that it's somewhat awkward asking someone who governs billions of living planets to personally handle a matter as small as a green bean dispute. It's like going directly to a foreign emperor because someone stole a chicken from your backyard. The woman steps forward, asking the presiding judge how they intend to resolve the problem. She admits she's not sure which official they should approach and wonders if he has a solution. The woman explains that the Nanlin star ultimately belongs to the Baichuan star region and falls under its jurisdiction. Since her own area has no direct authority to interfere, she plans to quietly contact the surrounding star clans near Lu Sheng's system for help. She believes their strength is more than enough to resolve such a minor resource dispute. She assures him she'll arrange it right away without delay. Before he can leave, she smiles faintly and adds that she has a personal matter she'd like to trouble him with. Lu Sheng looks intrigued, gesturing for her to continue.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.